Hi everyone, welcome back to the garden once again. It is now mid-November and it's been a couple of months again and I am very sorry. It's hedging season and it just gets really busy like spring. It's probably actually my busiest time of the year with the hedging. However, I did film a video in October and it's still sat on my phone that I'm recording on at the moment. So today you're actually going to get a bumper issue with 2 videos. So they're not very long because we're at the end of the season. There's not too much to show you, but we're going to jump back about 4 weeks ago to mid-October and we're going to see what Harry had to say back then, and then we're going to come back now and I'll go and do a little bit of a couple of points of things out to show you what I've been doing basically when I've had time. Hello everyone, welcome back to the garden. It is now middle of October and as you can see I've stuck the hoodie on. It's getting a little bit cold outside now. Nothing frosty yet, but a few heavy dewy mornings, 7-8 degrees overnight. So there's not lots to show you on the video today, but we've got a few things, so let's go and have a little look here first at the crops. So I am joined with Ori today. He wanted to come down because I stuck some shoes on and that obviously means we're going to the paddock to play bally. So down here, the crops we've got, most of it is kind of being cleared away for overdue and refresh next year, but the tomatoes, we got these out very late this year. We've already picked a good few loads already. But these plums are all done quite well. Obviously most of these aren't going to get any riper, so my wife's going to pick these at the weekend, and anything that's slightly ripe like this one we'll put in a bowl with some other ripe fruit and that should ripen them off. The rest of the greens she'll probably make some chutneys out of. Then over here the other tomato bed is looking really quite full. This done really well. And some of these beef tomatoes, I mean this is not even the biggest one, we had a massive one a couple of days ago and it was probably double the size of this. It literally filled my hand, but these are all doing okay, and we've even got some marigold flowers just to brighten it up down here still. And then over here we've done a little last minute kind of batch of seed sowing. So we've got some pak choi in here. We presume this is flea beetle damage here, and some of it's been eaten. Lots of weed seeds, but that's fine. The chard I picked some of the other day and we had that in a stir fry and that was very good. And I did try to sow some beans, but it was an interesting experiment. And then a few little mushrooms. We've still got to lift all of our potatoes down there. So that is the crops. Let's head up to the house. As we come up here, everything here is done lovely. The salvias need to be cut back soon, but I'll wait for them to get hit by the frosts. The clematis or mandii, as you can see, these are still at the exact same point that they were between these 2 nodes, so this brown dieback hasn't done anything more and it's all healthy at the moment, touch wood, and it's actually done really quite well. Have to cut back the peonies soon. They have been hit hard by the colder weather. The star of the show at the moment in the garden is this glorious Acer. I have no idea which variety it is. It could be Garnet. It was in the garden when we moved in and I kind of dug it out from behind where the pond is at the moment and relocated it down here, but it's doing really well this year considering it's been so dry, but it's easy enough to reach with the hose from the corner down there, and it adds a nice splash of colour in the cold weather. And then along the bed here, as I say, peonies all need to be cut back. Still have roses out in flower. These are still doing good, and on a warm sunny day they still give off a really good fragrance. But it won't be long, even though there's new buds, they'll probably get hit soon. I won't imagine it'll be too much longer, maybe another couple of weeks before we get some frost. Pulled all the leeks out of the greenhouse because they need to go down the paddock once the tomatoes get cleared. Not really anything to show in the greenhouse at the moment. We've got some salad growing, some aubergines that never really did anything, and then some chili peppers that we need to harvest. So I thought I had a couple of Echium seedlings in the garden growing, and then I didn't actually notice this one that had been growing all summer. It's probably about 3 foot now, hiding behind this. This is ideal position because obviously it's already got this bench around it, and I can put some fleece and stuff over that to keep the frost off, and hopefully we'll get it through winter. Obviously all of these bits will have to go in. The Salvia concertiflora is finally starting to put out some flowers. This is absolutely gorgeous and really velvety soft, so I will be making a point to look after that over winter and get that growing really well next year. Go around the side here. Still got the dahlias all out in flower. I haven't bothered deadheading for a couple of weeks now. I've just been kind of expecting an early frost with how poor this year's been, and it's just not come to cut them back, so getting to enjoy the flowers for a little bit longer. The rabbits decided that they wanted access to their warren again, so cleared out all the rubble. So I'll have to look at getting a slab down or something to deter them. But the cannas, although they've been gone and done their flowering weeks ago, still giving a nice bit of colour with the leaves. The Insettis are looking great still. I will be... Big hornet flying past. I will be taking these into the unheated garage this winter. The one that I did last year done really well, so I'm going to give that a try. The choice here is looking really great. Such a contrast of lime acid green yellow with the dark maroon of the Insetti. The eucalyptus is doing really well this year now that I've restaked it again. And the Taiwaniana Schefflera is doing well. It's losing some of its lower leaves from the colder weather, but is looking fine otherwise. We'll go around there to the tiki hut in a minute, and then coming through here, one of the bamboos has been moved because of the work I've been doing, but we've got another lovely dahlia here. I did have 2, but I presume this one's just taken over, so I might have to look at getting some more. I need another David Howard. I lost it a few years ago. And you can see them just through past the gingers. The soft caress is doing well and it's coming into flower. And the pink china has struggled massively. This is nice and firm in there. I presume it's just not like the colder weather. And this one has really struggled. This one's not doing well, but there's a little baby off there, so I'm going to take that inside now, and I'm actually probably going to lift the other one as well. So I've now got 2 plants of that, and I'll overwinter it. There is a bit of green growth there, so it is pushing stuff out. So I'll have to pick that up and take that inside, get it into a nice damp soil. Tetrapanics are pushing out their flower spikes with all the tiniest leaves. They always look really alien-esque, and the big one is slightly further ahead pushing them out. Always interesting to see these come out at this time of year. Then this bed over here, now this Acanthus mollis looks a little bit sickly, but that's because I sprayed it with weed killer. And I hate weed killer with a passion because you get accidents like that poor Echium that has been hit. However, the Acanthus seems to have taken it in its stride almost and kind of laughed it off. So we'll have to keep an eye on it because I do want to get rid of it so that I can enjoy the hydrangea there without having to worry about the acanthus popping up all the time, because I do have these two big plants here, and then there's the main soft caress looking really good at this time of year. The Salvia amistad is looking really good. In fact, this whole archway is looking really good at this time of year. It's just what I kind of wanted. I just need to find something that's going to grow in down here with a big round leaf. I have tried pink china, that was down here somewhere, but it never really survived and done well, so I need to find something else. So that might be maybe something, one of the ligularias, something like that would probably be good. It just doesn't get an awful lot of sunshine, but with the bamboo it's looking really good. I've been busy. So I took a week off of work, spent a couple of days preparing all of the area. I've dug this nice big trench because it's not just this. I then lifted and relayed all of this area here as well and built a ramp rather than the step, because I have to go up and down this bloody step with my wheelbarrow full of bags of waste all the time, and it's just awkward. This was probably the trickiest area in the corner here where the drains go, but you'll see I haven't carried on the trench around the side. That's purely because it was just going to be really awkward to dig it. I probably should have more of a gap so that the splash up doesn't damage the brickwork and the render, but there's going to be a massive one of those oak planters. In fact, this water butt doesn't really work as a water butt anymore, so I'm thinking I might take my circular saw to it and actually cut it into two, and then that way I can have one down here, and then the other one is going to go at the end here, and then that will have my albrizia in at the very end here, and then it just ends here. So this is the albrizia that's going to go at the far end, and I'm not sure, but that almost looks like it's trying to reflower, or are these just the old? I've never really paid any attention to them. That is Diddy, where it's where the old flower buds are. But everything here is kind of just autumnal, really. It's all looking a little bit sad and sorry. These aces have been and gone. They looked really good a couple of weeks ago. They got quite crispy. But everything else here is basically just waiting for winter to hit so I can start doing a tidy up and rejig. Next on the task is going to be this length of patio here. Now this is not all getting lifted. It's going to have basically kind of this area here to probably about there removed, and then that will have gravel in, so this and this side on there as well will be removed, so it's just a narrow bit of pathway, gravel each side, and then hopefully I'm going to be building some archways up and over, and then along here we'll be having trellis or wires growing along to grow some of my wisterias, because I love them and I've neglected them in the pots for far too long. I mean, it's been in this little couple of litre pot for about 3 years, so it desperately needs to be put in the ground. Okay, so back to the present day. It's now mid-November, and as you just saw, this pache was done mid-October, and then I spent a day or so and went and pointed up all of the jointing. I just used the resin brush in and press down kind of stuff, and ended up using quite a few buckets of it, because some of it is very deep indeed, especially down that end, but it's all dried off, and most of the smell that they get from when they're kind of going off is gone now. As you can see, I filled this trench with just some 10mm shingle. That needs to get some, like these little ones over here, these are Scottish pebbles, so we're going to get some like that to match it all in together. And then as you can see, I've got the base for the water butt that's going to have a planter put on it, and then I need to build another one, put it down the end there, and I still have to cut said water butt in half. I've been busy over the weekend. We had a lovely sunny day a week ago, I think it was, and I basically just prepared some of the garden, cut back all the perennials and whatnot, all ready to go. And last night was the first night where we didn't get a frost in the morning, but it was really quite chilly today, about 5 or 6 degrees during the day. So it was, I think this evening it's going to go down to about 1 degrees. As you can see, the Ensetis have all been cut back. They are up in the garage along with the Brugmansias for the moment, and then I can start getting in to the pond and vacuuming it out, get rid of all the leaves that are falling in there at this time of year. I gave a bit of a haircut and just cut it back and realised I probably should have done this in the summer because it looks so much better. This was right out here and you could barely squeeze through. As you can see there, the umbrella bamboo does just tend to lean over quite a bit, and it's really pushing out again. So I think either this winter or next spring I'm going to have to dig it back and take off some of this growth out, just so that I can get through once it does start to lean over. And I've not got round to doing anything with the ditch around this. This will just stay as a precautionary measure for the moment. But this whole area, I've got a plan in my head, but as I said in the October video, I've got the plan for doing this patio, and as I've done the other bit of patio, I do feel like this is probably next on my list of things to do. Mid-November now, so it's unlikely to get done this side of the year. It will probably be done in the new year, and then depending on how next year goes, this may be the next area that I look at tackling. Right, as you can see, it's still quite messy down this end of the garden. I raked up all of the leaves. I say I raked up, I picked up a leaf blower and vac for work. So I went to work with the vacuumer and sucked up all the leaves. If they're on the beds, I leave them, but on the path and on the grass I try to take them up, and then it kind of shreds them up, and then I can use them as mulch, because I never got round to getting any crocuses or extra soil, so there's nothing extra down here. So I've just basically put all of the leaves that I've collected, mulched them, and just put them down here, and I'll have to look at that maybe next year when I have more time. I need to write a note on my diary that these need to go in earlier because they'd all gone from the shops. In fact, I went and done the garlic and onions down in the paddock, and I actually had to kind of hunt around for onion and garlic. Even in, I think it was late October or beginning of November, the shops had already gone into Christmas mode and got rid of all of that stuff. As you can see, there's a few little things that with the frost coming I do need to kind of put away. A couple of canners, the cycad needs to go in, and to be fair, that's I think about it now. Pretty much everything else is hardy enough out here, so I think we'll leave it at that for this year. Hopefully we'll see if I can find time to do something in December, and maybe do some kind of Christmas thing, show you what's happening in the garden over winter. Especially once everything's been cut down by the frost, so you can see just how barren some of the areas look when the tropical stuff has died back, and you can see the actual structure of the garden. So till December, I'll see you then.